Welcome to SEMA Central. I'm Dennis Pitzenbarger. This is the SEMA Show 2014. Sitting next to me, one of the two guys that are the 1-2 punch. It is the Ringbrothers. Mike, how you doing today,
Good,
sir?
Thanks.
It's great to have you up here. I mean, I have been a huge fan of all that you guys do over there. I met, or my first, I guess, hands-on was at CarCraft a couple years ago. That's the first time I got to see your guys' stuff up front. But SEMA 2014 got picked as one of the top builders for the Builder Build-Off this year. That Chevelle, you've been teasing us. I'm a fan of yours on Instagram and Facebook and all that stuff, and been giving us the little teases, and you pulled the cover off that thing, and it's just amazing. And by the way, we also have some great friends and our partners at Royal Purple. I mean, Randy and Kyle and all those guys are absolutely awesome. So how proud are you to be here with that Chevelle?
It's really amazing to bring it here and have the reception that we've had, and the people that it's been nonstop around the car. And you know, for GM to recognize it as one of the top cars, and also Road and Track and Car and Driver, even to come and look at it and say such kind words, it's pretty humbling.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I went up. You saw me. I bear hugged Tom Gardner up there.
Yeah.
I was like, get away from my car. Get away from my car. You guys have a very distinct style. And you also, with that distinct style, refresh it in the cars. It's something that you can reinvent. It's that mechanical design genius that I love about what you guys do. I didn't think you could top the Pantera. I really loved that car last year.
Thanks.
I thought you guys did a very bold choice on the color with the Chevelle. And to tell you the truth, if I had to pick my favorite part, silly enough, it's the seats.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is about those seats. It's just so cool.
Just the simplicity, I think, is what he wants. And the owner was like, the color. I want a color, but not about color. I want it to be about what you did, not, you know, the color's got to be there, so pick one that you don't notice.
Talk about some of the styling cues and the way that you come up with these builds. I mean, this is not just, I'm going to rebuild your Chevelle, put some Kragers on it, shove it back out in the garage. I mean, these are things that when you start to do the little cues in the car. I mean, you can spend about, I think the average guy, even if they're an educated car guy, could spend a couple hours figuring out all the little things in the car you've done that I don't think the average person ever sees.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you hope happens, because we really don't keep track of what we do. We don't, honest enough, we work with, on this one was Gary Rago, and you come up with a freehand sketch. I never want like a 3D car that looks like it was already done, but you know, you throw some ideas at him, he throws a few back at you, and you just kind of take off, and it morphs by everyone in the shop. I mean, everybody's got input, meaning 4 or 5 guys, and you just kind of play off one thing to another and cross your fingers. Honestly, it's just how they evolve. But just pay attention to what you're doing.
How do you guys deal with the amount of success that you've had over the last few years? I mean, you went from guys that already had the talent, already had the experience, to just this major wave of exposure, whether it be print or radio or coming up here on SEMA Central stage. You guys have been kind of blown by that. I know a lot of guys that try to build cars, and for lack of better ways to put it, you've become famous. And every once in a while, do you got to lock the doors and pretend like the shop door isn't open?
No, honestly, we come from a town of 1,200, and I'll bet you half those people that have no idea what we do. We're not famous, we just build cars.
Yes, you are.
No,
You're
really, we just build cars and like to do it.
Well, you're a craftsman.
Well, there's a lot of craftsmen. I mean, and to be separated, it's so honored, but we're just car guys that like what we do. We still do collision. We still, we're not, it's not our goal to be car builders, but it's a way to market or have people notice our product, and lucky enough to build a car to show what we can do and build a product off each car, hopefully. You know what, now I know what, by the way, Mike, when people talk to me about being lucky enough to do what I do, they always say, do me a favor and embrace it. I'm gonna give you the advice from me. You're famous, Mike. You're famous, embrace it. You are a famous builder that people want to emulate. Well, that's a compliment, but I don't believe car builders should be famous. Oh, well, I think they should, because you guys are craftsmen, and you're also very genius. Last thing before we wrap up, how important is it to have relationships here at SEMA to help perpetuate what you do at the shop? you know, like I said, I don't feel like we're car builders, but be able to have the raceships like Royal Purple and Flowmaster and BASF, to be able to get that product and get help from all sorts of other people to build something you're really excited to build. How do you do it? And then to come to SEMA where you actually meet the owners of it. Usually, you know, you're on the phone, but when you can put a face to it and they can put a face to you, and I mean, we started at SEMA, we drug a car out here always, you know, like everybody wants a dream to get to SEMA. Got out here and we were what we called Ashtray Alley. The only people that saw our car was when they were flicking their ashtray, you know, they're on our car, and somebody took notice and it's just snowballed. Well, so this is where it's at.
Well, I tell you what, I love your designs. I love your guys' work. In my book, whether you like it or not, you're famous. I'm going to call you famous. You don't want to accept that that's your deal. I think you're famous. If anybody wants to know how to get a hold of you, the shop, if they want to commission a build with you, how do they do it?
Just call Ringbrothers at ringbrothers.com.
There you go. Mike, he's a genius. He's a great guy. Thank you so much for coming up here to SEMA Central, right here, SEMA 2014. It is literally less than an hour before the cruise starts. We're going to head out there. Everybody's going to SEMA Ignited. We're going to find out who the builder of the year is. I don't know how you're going to get that car out of here in time. It's going to be a cruise of the century. We'll be back after this.